After 24 years since the release of the first season of this series, I finally watched it. Not just the first season, but the entire series. A series that became iconic, without which many other excellent TV shows wouldn't have happened. What series are you talking about right now? Of course, it's the Passion series from 1999. Did you read the title of the video before clicking on it? You can't fool us, guys. Of course, I'm talking about The Sopranos. I've watched a lot of movies and series, but I was always afraid to touch The Sopranos. I was afraid that I would turn out to be too stupid to properly appreciate this work, because it's not just a cult series, but a series that gave us the television industry we have now. Without it, most likely, we would still be watching just sitcoms on television. And I had a fear, honestly, that what if I couldn't get into The Sopranos? And what would people think of me then? A new day. A wonderful day. I got up the courage and finally started watching this TV show. And I fell in love. I was lucky that the series hooked me from the very first episode, which is quite rare. And I understood that everything was fine with my intellect, I hope. I watched all 6 seasons in one breath, and am ready to convince you to at least try to find time to watch this masterpiece. I noticed that although everyone knows about this series, few people have watched it, and it's quite sad. And those who have already watched this series, don't turn off the video. At least you can reminisce, and at most. But guys, the video is not long anyway. If you close it now, YouTube definitely won't thank me. So please watch until the end. Thank you. Of course, there will be no spoilers here. And if you want a separate video with a full analysis of the series and characters from me, you know what to do. Like it, обязательно. Write about it in the comments. I really don't know if you'll be interested in a video with a full analysis of this series with spoilers. If so, write in the comments. I'll make such a video. What is the Sopranos series actually about? In fact, it's difficult to take and answer this question in some smart book. I don't remember which one. Yes, I read sometimes. I read that it's very important to be able to describe a movie with just 1 or 2 sentences and intrigue the viewer with those sentences. For example, Breaking Bad. A chemistry teacher gets cancer and gets involved in the drug business to leave money for his family after his death. Well, already the tension is rising, and you want to see what's going on there. Or the movie Drive. Ryan Gosling meets a girl. In the case of Drive, 2 words are enough to intrigue the viewer.
Ryan Gosling.
In the case of The Sopranos, I came up with a little test. How to understand if you'll fall in love with the series or fall in love, but not right away. The Sopranos can be described like this: a tough gangster, criminal, mobster who has a panic attack and is forced to go to a psychiatrist, combining treatment and criminal family life. And this fully describes the series. All seasons we watch how not Soprano, just brilliantly played by James Gandolfini, solves problems of his criminal life. Then he comes home and solves family problems, and then vents about it to the doctor, and how well it's all woven together. The family drama looks genuine, and it's really very interesting. Every dialogue between Tony and his wife Carmela is interesting. Every episode of Tony's criminal life is also filmed beautifully, and as the icing on the cake, the soulful or aggressive dialogues between Tony and the psychologist. Well, how did it turn out so well? I don't understand. For me, it was a revelation, because I would never have thought that I would be so interested in family drama and dialogues with a doctor. But talented people did their job. As you all know, originally most TV shows were made with a vertical plot. That is, the characters are the same in each episode, but each time they face new challenges and so on. In general, each time there's a new plot, but the same characters, basically, in the same setting, and all the characters are maximally straightforward personalities. For example, there's a good guy, and he's a good guy, and throughout the entire series, of course, something could change from season to season, but not much. Shows were made this way so that viewers, even if they missed 1 or 2 episodes, could continue watching the series from wherever they wanted, ignoring the previous episodes. After all, back then, there were no streaming services like now. If you wanted to watch an episode, you had to turn on the TV at a strictly designated day and time to watch your series, or else wait for repeats, not knowing where and when. So shows were made in such a way that viewers, even if they missed a couple of episodes, wouldn't get confused, lose interest, or give up on watching. The Sopranos, however, was one of the first to break this tradition, and started making a horizontal plot, meaning the events of the next episode depend on the previous one. and it's no longer possible to just skip an episode and then watch the series further with a beer. More precisely, The Sopranos began combining horizontal and vertical plots. After all, it's about time, and they did it wonderfully. Each episode is a logically completed storyline of a particular episode, but in parallel, the series moves the overall plot, which spans 6 seasons. Well, bravo again. Combining a vertical and horizontal plot is indeed a difficult task, which The Sopranos creators handled brilliantly. And the second, extremely important invention of The Sopranos, in my opinion, is the anti-hero in the series. We're now so spoiled with characters like Walter White, with gray morality and a difficult moral compass. Characters who both sympathize with us and whom we don't see, but whom we never remain indifferent to. In general, complex, multifaceted characters. So in those days, such characters were probably impossible on television. The Sopranos, the first series that set the trend for deep anti-heroes. You empathize with him, and then after 5 minutes, you sincerely hate him. And you feel sorry for him again, then you analyze how you would act in such a situation. Then you sympathize with him. Then you think about what you feel. In general, the whole range of emotions. By the way, even Bryan Cranston himself said that if there hadn't been Tony Soprano, there wouldn't have been Walter White.
I think what they were able to, David Chase was able to do in creating a character like Tony Soprano was certainly paving the way to allow the space for someone like Walter White.
We're all used to the fact that gangster films show the life of mobsters as pompous, grandiose, beautiful. In The Sopranos, however, a down-to-earth version is shown. Bosses of mob families, after a meeting with another mob family, just like ordinary people, come home in the evening to their ordinary family, quarrel with their wives, raise children, and in this plane of problems there are no fewer than in the criminal one. And this plane is by no means easier. On the one hand, The Sopranos can be called a deconstruction of Mafia films. And partly it would be true because, as I said, this series is down-to-earth and realistic, unlike many even classic criminal Mafia films. But at the same time, it's not a deconstruction, just a new word in the genre, again, for the same reason, because the action in the series is mainly down-to-earth and realistic. Moreover, all the personalities within the series either imitate characters from cult gangster films, or just want to be like them. They're charmed by the romance of the criminal world, which doesn't exist in real life. Real life is cruel and ugly, and this series almost doesn't embellish anything, making you feel like you're really watching the actual life of mobsters and their problems not only in the criminal world. The series even intentionally doesn't provide answers to many questions, and doesn't show what happened to many characters, as that's just how life is. We're not meant to know the answers to many questions, whether big or small. Each person, in turn, has their own flaws and positive sides. For example, Christopher Moltisanti. I believe everyone loves this character. I'd like to talk about him in more detail, but again, I won't, as I'm afraid. Let's just say, after watching this video, go ahead and watch it. Great. And I'll proceed to make a full analysis with spoilers and complete analytics. In conclusion, I can say that this series is truly brilliant. It has given cinema many things that modern film and television would be hard-pressed to imagine without. The series' legacy is vast, and it's wonderful that each of us can enjoy this series, its characters, and its plots over and over again. Like and share your thoughts about this series in the comments. And subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the following videos.